As a farmer, you know that providing the best nutrition for your animals is key to their health and productivity. A well-fed animal is a happy animal, and a happy animal means a thriving farm. While there are many options for feeding livestock, one stands out for its efficiency, cost-effectiveness, and nutritional value: grass silage. This green gold of livestock feeding has been a cornerstone of successful farms for generations. But what exactly is grass silage? And how can you make the best quality silage for your animals? This guide will take you through the process, step by step, offering practical advice and tips for success. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just starting out, understanding the art of making high-quality grass silage can significantly impact your farm's bottom line. So let's dive in and unlock the secrets of this essential feed source. Grass silage is essentially fermented grass. It's made by preserving freshly cut grass at a specific moisture content. This process involves tightly packing the chopped grass to remove air and allowing beneficial bacteria to convert sugars into lactic acid. This lactic acid acts as a natural preservative, preventing spoilage and locking in the valuable nutrients of the grass. But why go through this process instead of just feeding fresh grass? Silage offers several key advantages. It allows you to store large quantities of high-quality feed for months, providing a consistent food source, even when fresh grass is scarce. It is particularly important during winter or dry periods when pasture is limited. Moreover, well-made silage is highly digestible and palatable, meaning your animals can easily extract the nutrients they need for optimal growth and milk production. The first step in making excellent silage is selecting the right grass species. Different grasses have different nutritional profiles and fermentation characteristics, so choosing wisely is essential. Some popular choices for silage include perennial ryegrass, Italian ryegrass, and timothy. Consider your local climate and soil type when selecting grass species. For instance, perennial ryegrass thrives in temperate climates with adequate rainfall, while timothy is better suited for cooler regions. It's also crucial to factor in the nutritional requirements of your livestock. Dairy cows, for example, need higher energy content in their diet than beef cattle. Consult with your local agricultural advisor or a forage specialist to determine the best grass species for your specific needs. Timing is crucial when it comes to harvesting your grass for silage. Harvesting at the right stage of maturity ensures the highest nutritional value and optimal fermentation. Ideally, you want to cut the grass when it's in the early heading stage. At this stage, the grass has accumulated enough sugars to fuel the fermentation process, but hasn't yet become too fibrous and difficult to compact. This stage is typically reached when the seed heads are just beginning to emerge from the stem. You can determine the ideal cutting time by regularly monitoring your fields and observing the growth stage of the grass. After cutting, the grass needs to be wilted to reduce its moisture content. Why is this wilting process so important? Proper wilting is crucial for achieving the ideal moisture content for good fermentation. Too much moisture can lead to the growth of undesirable bacteria, producing a foul-smelling and unpalatable silage. On the other hand, if the grass is too dry, it becomes difficult to compact effectively, allowing air pockets that can encourage mold growth. The ideal moisture content for grass silage is typically between 60% and 70%. You can monitor the moisture content using a moisture meter or by simply squeezing a handful of wilted grass. It should feel moist but not dripping with water. Once the grass has wilted to the desired moisture level, it's time for chopping. Chopping the grass into smaller pieces is essential for several reasons. Firstly, it makes it easier to compact the silage tightly, which is crucial for excluding air and promoting good fermentation. Secondly, chopping improves the digestibility of the silage, allowing your animals to extract more nutrients from the feed. The ideal chop length for silage depends on the type of silo you're using and the type of livestock you're feeding. Generally, a chop length of 1 to 2 inches is suitable for most situations. Shorter chop lengths are preferred for bunker silos or when feeding high-producing dairy cows, while longer chop lengths can be used for tower silos or for beef cattle. Filling and compacting the silo is arguably the most critical step in the silage making process. The goal here is to create an anaerobic environment, meaning an environment without oxygen. This is because the beneficial bacteria responsible for lactic acid fermentation thrive in the absence of oxygen. Thorough compaction is essential to minimize air pockets within the silage mass. These air pockets can harbor undesirable microorganisms that can spoil the silage and reduce its quality. Use heavy machinery such as a tractor or a specialized silage compactor to achieve adequate compaction. The denser the silage, the better it will ferment and the longer it will last. After filling and compacting the silo, it's essential to seal it properly to maintain the anaerobic environment necessary for optimal fermentation. Exposure to air can allow undesirable microorganisms to thrive, leading to spoilage and nutrient loss. Use high-quality silage plastic sheeting specifically designed for this purpose. The sheeting should be thick enough to resist punctures and tears and should provide an airtight barrier against oxygen. Overlapping the sheeting by at least 6 feet and weighting it down securely with tires or gravel bags will prevent air from seeping in. With the silo sealed tight, the magic of fermentation begins. Inside the tightly packed anaerobic environment, lactic acid bacteria start to break down the sugars in the grass and convert them into lactic acid. This process typically takes several weeks to complete. During this time, monitor the temperature of the silage regularly. The temperature should rise initially as the bacteria become active but should gradually decline as the fermentation process progresses. Once the temperature stabilizes, the silage is considered fully fermented and ready to feed. High-quality silage should have a pleasant, slightly sweet aroma similar to pickled vegetables.